name, please?
Oh, J.W. Rowe.
And you served as?
Director of the Red River Votech School from, actually from 1965 through 88. Yeah.
Mr. Rowe, my first question, and this is something you can elaborate on, is what was your vision behind getting support and establishing Red River Votech?
Well, Scott, it really wasn't my vision. It was the community's vision, because there was advisory committees in the community that actually made suggestions to the State Board of Education on what what courses would be taught, and that's an error too. It wasn't just in the community; it was all over Southwest Arkansas, because at the time, there in 1966, we ran buses, or not we, Red River ran buses from like Magnolia to Hope, Taylor to Hope, Doddridge to Hope, Foreman to Hope, and from up at Kirby to Hope, and from Arkadelphia to Hope. So we had a wide area that business and industry needed trained employees, and they made suggestions as to what the curriculum would be, and within that frame there, the Department of Education more or less okayed certain courses to be taught here at Red River, thinking not to overlap too much with other educational institutions, because other educational institutions, Texarkana College, Southern State, Ouachita Henderson, weren't in much occupational education at the time, except business education and agriculture.
Do you feel like Hope was a good area because they could draw from our location of Hope? Was a good location to have and start such a technical school?
Oh yeah, all these other communities, Hope, Magnolia, Prescott, and Nashville and DeQueen, I believe, all made a bid for the school. It was eventually built here, and I was sure that it was going to Magnolia, but Senator Hendricks and Talbot Field and Marion Crank they'd laugh at me quite a bit and tell me, said, you know, I hadn't looked at the area to be served, because they, you know, they had input also, and had made suggestions as to where it would be the most beneficial. And as we've seen how industry and how transportation is, Hope is an ideal location for all sorts of things, because it has rail transportation, it has highway transportation, and tremendous airport, and has so many positive things going for it. At the time, the City of Hope had some money, and they bought, or rather they didn't buy, the City of Hope bought 70 acres from the Lemley family here where the school sits now, and there was for $100 an acre, and but there was some stipulations in there also that they knew that the city knew that this place would, that the area out here would build up, and they had already asked for a grant to put in sewer and electric line, utilities and out in this area. So it was a natural, and Arkansas Louisiana Gas Company had a big main right across the railroad over here, so we had, you know, all of the utilities. We were much, Hope was much further along than the other three Votech schools that were built at the same time.
One question, in looking back, and in your mind, was there a year or was there a time period in your mind that you felt like was something you really felt like was one of your crowning or best achievements as leader in a leadership role here at the school? Something you're most proud of?
Well, I don't know. What the students have done. I mean, year in, year out, the students here at the that came in here to Red River they've tried, they've excelled. Yeah, just like in March here of '06, you see the achievements in the press all the time about the achievements of the folks here in this area, and this was sure exactly what was happening back there then. The Hope Star, KXAR, the television stations were just bent over backwards, being cooperative. In fact, there for many years, we had a 5-minute radio program each day, and that is a pretty good little chore for a 5-minute radio program. And it was KXAR had it. No one sponsored it. KXAR, it was a public service situation. KXAR put in there, and Hope Star was. They would lend you a camera, and anything that you'd put your name to, you know, they'd print it. But back there, I don't know. We did the initial training with the Arkansas Industrial Development Commission with Beard Poland over there, and that was an excellent year. The year that we did the training for Hope Foods was an excellent year, with an excellent plant where Tyson's plant is now. So, and we had, you know, media was here, and every governor throughout this time came here and had a day that they came in and spent a day in the school here, and the community could come in and visit with them about problems that they saw in the community, in the area, in the state, which was excellent. I guess Governor Rockefeller started this, but Governor Pryor, Governor Bumpers, all were came in, was visited. here in the community also. You know, there was some key people in the community that had a business people who had a tremendous impact on the school and surrounding area, like Vincent Foster, George Frazier, Mr. Leonard Ellis, Mr. W.L. Tate, Gene White, Bill Butler, Bucky Sharp, Jack Caldwell. All those people had, and all the people before them and since them have been Mr. Basie, old timer that was as solid as with Bruner Ivor down there, was as solid as anyone could be. And they all gave tremendous encouragement to the students and staff here out here. Scott, I'd be amiss if I didn't say something about that original staff. There is only myself and one other person that is left out of the original staff. But the people who made this place go was like Fred Leverett, Martha Waddle, Elsie Huckabee, Matt McCauley, Ms. Hazel Underwood, Jim Stroud, Fred Fuller, Mr. Tom Duckett he supervised the construction of most of the construction that was built outside of the students doing. We only had one maintenance person. Well, I had two maintenance people. I had one for the daytime and one at night. And Mr. Tom would come in here at 6:30 in the morning and out at 6:30 at night or 7, or whenever the students needed to go home. Mr. Tom was here the rest of the time. I recall when they started really the 40-hour situation, and R.D. Dick Moore called Mr. Tom in up there, and he told him, said, Mr. Tom said, you know, said, you can't work but 40 hours here now. And Mr. Tom told him, said, who said that? So he gave him a form there, and he said, now you've got to come in here at like 7 o'clock and get off at 4:30, and said, that's just the law today. And Mr. Tom told him, he said, well, write that down there where I'm, on that form where I'm like I'm supposed to be. And so Dick did, and he told him, he said, now, said, don't ever come back up here again. And Mr. Tom, until he retired, still kept his same hours. And this was because he was interested in those students. Those students needed work to stay in school after school. And Mr. Tom was going to make sure that they did. And this is real dedication. Mr. Tom was the present Sue Smith, her dad. And of course Sue, I better not say this because she was given her age, but Sue came here just a short time after the school was built. Also, she'd worked at she'd gone to Central Baptist College in Conway and came back and was working for at the hospital, for Dr. Branch's hospital, and we encouraged her to come out here, and there is never been enough work piled on her that she couldn't do it. There's so many fond memories of those, all of the instructors. Matt McCauley, the person never had a better friend in life than Matt McCauley. Elsie Huckabee was the best person, I guess, has ever been about getting students employment. I mean, she, Daisy O'Neill was on the original staff. I forgot Daisy O'Neill, but she eventually ended up as president of a Rice Belt Votech school in DeWitt over there. But the three of us, I guess, is the only three that's left.
Well, I think, is that going to be enough?
Unless you've got some wrap-up that you'd like to give us?
To give a final comments?
Well, I'm as a citizen and former employee of this institution, my heart swells with pride with the students that are here now. What the university is doing, making opportunities available to people in this area. I mean, it's unbelievable what has been done. We could have had a larger institution back there then, but we weren't ready for it. We really weren't ready for it. And through each of the administrations since that time, it has grown and progressed, and cooperation from each of the communities has seen it just blossom, and I hope we've not seen near anything the end of it now, because now more than ever, industry needs the more skilled people that the university is turning out now, more so than what they were in 1966. But it has been, we've raised our family here, and I don't know of any place on earth that I would rather raise my family than in Hope, Arkansas.